Robert Merrill sings that altogether wonderful showstopper, Without a Song.
Without a song, the day would never end. Without a song, the road would never bend. When things go wrong, a man ain't got a friend. Without a song.
Felicidad, te deseo lo más bueno para los dos.
Nostalgia's killing us here, those of us in the studio who remember that well. So welcome to Mia's World. It is a world with love and without love, but we're going for the love tonight, and have a great group of guests tonight. 2 call-ins, 2 people in the house, well actually 3 or 4, including me and Jade Zabrich, my fabulous singer-songwriter, engineer. What's coming up for you, Jade? Anything?
Tonight I'm going to be on MNN.
Oh, Jade's on MNN tonight. Do we know where that is on the dial? Just search it out. Manhattan News Network. Jade Zabrich, great singer-songwriter. I also have on the phone right now, listening in, calling in from New Jersey, Bill Quain from my Cornell class of 74. This is a special Cornell pre-reunion show here. Hello, Bill.
Hi, Mia. How you doing?
Just great. I'm so happy you calling in. I also have, later on, we're going to have the choral director of Cornell University, calling in Robert Isaacs, and we have two members of the Glee Club in the house. We have Colin Montag, General Manager of the Glee Club, and Jack Liufu, President of the Glee Club.
Yes, hello.
Charming young men, all of you. And Bill, too, of course. Bill was, by the way, what was the title? Mr. Mature of 2018?
Mr. Mature America.
Mr. Mature America 2018. You should be here in person, Bill. But anyway.
Yeah, well, I'm actually playing tomorrow at the Miss Senior New Jersey pageant. I'm entertaining there, so I got to be in town. So.
That's hilarious. What do you wear?
Tuxedo.
A tuxedo?
And a banjo, you know.
Oh, what a great outfit. I would love to see that in person. I'm sure there'll be video, right?
Yes, we'll have some of that.
Great. Well, we'll talk some more with Bill momentarily and hear some of his ukulele and or banjo playing. But first, let me just tell you that it's a beautiful, sort of sultry, gorgeous, light-filled Tuesday evening in New York City. Beautiful June evening, June 4th, 2019. And that was my musical medley to start off Mia's World, as I do every week, based on who was born on June 4th, no matter what the style of music, classical, folk, or what have you. So first we started out with my theme song, Moonlight in Vermont, the beautiful standard by Carl Susdorf. Then we had the Cornell Hangovers, the famous a cappella Hangovers, singing Up the Ladder to the Roof, one of their signature songs, and they're sort of a subset of the Cornell University Glee Club. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that a cappella group, because the Glee Club tends to do more classical and, more than contemporary, although you do some contemporary as well.
Absolutely.
Right? But the a cappella is a little bit more, spicy?
I'd say it lends itself better to that type of music.
Yeah. So that was the Hangovers. Then we had Leon Redbone, who just passed away, with Shine On Harvest Moon by Nora Hay and Jack Norworth. Then we had another Cornell Glee Club special, Gentle Annie, with banjo and mandolins, and that was Robert Isaacs, who will be calling in later, conductor, with the arrangements by Alice Parker and Robert Shaw. Gentle Annie, beautiful. That was you guys.
That was
singing.
us on our tour this past January.
Amazing.
Yeah, we brought back the banjo and mandolin for that.
That's phenomenal. I love it. Then we had the a cappella group After 8 singing Oh Darling, Tiffany Burgess soloing, 2010 spring concert. After 8 is the another a cappella subset group of the Cornell University Chorus. And the Chorus is having their centennial in 2 years, and the Glee Club is celebrating their sesquicentennial, 150 years. And you have to go to gleeclub.com. But we'll talk about that later. Then another pick from my guest, Bill Quain, because Bill helped form the Notables because of the notable class of 74. And we picked 1970s hit by Crosby, Stills, Nash, Teach Your Children, and Bill's a teacher, professor, as well as many other things. Then we had Rosalind Russell, the American actress from Mame, singing from Wonderful Town. She was born June 4th, 1907. We had another amazing, gorgeous, haunting piece by the Cornell Glee Club, Outstare the Stars, by a composer by the name of Klimek. And then we had Robert Merrill, the American operatic baritone, born in Brooklyn, June 4th, 1917, Without a Song, the Vincent Youmans with Skitch Henderson Orchestra from 1954. Oliver Nelson, the American jazz composer, born June 4th, 1932, with the Oliver Nelson Septet, featuring Bill Evans and Roy Haynes, with Stolen Moments, beautiful song. Then the American actor Bruce Dern, born June 4th, 1936. That was from the soundtrack of Nebraska, which was a really beautiful, beautiful film. Then we had Freddie Fender, the American musician, born June 4th, 1937, with Before the Next Teardrop Falls, followed by the great Michelle Phillips, born June 4th, 1944, from Mamas and Papas, with that nostalgic California Dreaming. We all wish we were at the ocean. Then June 4th, 1944, Roger Ball, the Scottish saxophonist from Average White Band, with Pick Up the Pieces. And then finally we had nostalgia of Peter and Gordon. Gordon Walker from Scotland, born June 4th, 1945, with World Without Love. Gorgeous. Great medley. A couple of other announcements before we talk with the fabulous Bill Quain. A couple of June 4th birthdays. Blanche Knopf from the publisher Knopf. And then we have Bruno Bedlinelli, Italian composer and teacher, born in 1913, June 4th. 1932, John Drew Barrymore from the American actor from the Barrymore family. And Daniel Topolsky, writer, photographer, and rowing coach, born 1945, June 4th. The English comedian Russell Brand, born June 4th, 1975. The American actress Angelina Jolie, born June 4th, 1975. And the American internet entrepreneur, founder of Snapchat, born June 4th, 1990. A few facts, June 4th in history. In 1070, Roquefort cheese was created in a cave near Roquefort, France. In 1391, June 4th, the mob was led by Ferrand Martinez, surrounded and set fire to the Jewish quarter of Seville, Spain. Surviving Jews were sold into slavery. It goes all the way back. In 1784, Madame Elizabeth Thibble becomes the first female balloonist. Henry Ford in 1896, June 4th, took his first Ford through the streets of Detroit. 1940, June 4th, Winston Churchill's speech, "We shall fight on the seas and oceans." June 4th, 1941, Nazis forbid Jews access to beaches and swimming pools. And June 4th, 1963, was the first transmission of Pop Goes the Beatles on BBC Radio. June 4th, today's holidays. It's Hug Your Cat Day. It's National Cheese Day, maybe because of Roquefort. National Cognac Day. National Safe Day. It's Old Maids Day. And it's Shopping Cart Day. Kind of interesting, right? We get some trivia on Mia's World. Now, before we talk to Bill Quain, we have Mia's rhyming wrap-up of the week to add a little sparkle to the news so it's not so gloomy. So here we go. You can follow along if you'd like. While Trump's dining with the Queen, London's mayor is making a scene. Will every Brit have a hissy fit and act moody like a teen? Jennifer Lawrence soiree at the Swanky River Cafe. No cozy nook for fiancé Cook and Jen to party away. Engaged and out of the loop of Hollywood, that's the scoop. But keeping track, she'll soon be back in X-Men Dark Phoenix troupe. The savvy actress Plucky first moved to New York from Kentucky to jump her career with Mommy Dear and certainly got lucky. The Jeopardy champ, what a force, once failed a college course. No one can claim perfection in name. And then we didn't rhyme horse. When Harry Met Sally turns 30, and not to be crass or dirty, but now Katz's Deli is holding Whoa Nelly a contest purty flirty in honor of the scene where Harry is turning green as Sally is faking an orgasm shaking Meg Ryan a sex machine. So Katz's will welcome fakers. Guess there are the new movers and shakers. And then they'll throw in some perks for the win. Pastrami for all those beef takers. Sticks. Something took a major dive. The stocks. The stocks took a major dive. So you'd better count to 5 before you check your portfolio deck. You're in it to survive. Are the Dems feeling queasy? Impeachment, not so easy. Not smooth as silk, more like skim milk in polls that track the sleazy. Senator Kennedy, in indignation, spoke out on Face the Nation. Go to Amazon online and buy a spine, a case of mass frustration. Has the light bulb gone out of the lamp, and has the Jeopardy champ finally struck a break in the luck of the poker-playing scamp? He once failed a class in high school science, alas, in organic chem, but no problem, the guy is filled with sass. A poker-playing dude who sure comes off as shrewd, with scope and terrain of his wide-ranged brain. He should next try Family Feud. It's National Cognac Day, so sip your fears away. Dream on, young drifters, lift your snifters. Now where is my Chardonnay? And that's our rhyming wrap-up of the week. What do you think, Bill?
It's marvelous.
Thank you so much. This is from a writer extraordinaire, Bill Quain. You're from my class, the notable class of 74. You're the vice president of fun. You're a ukulele and banjo player. You talk about music for the elderly, which I would really love to hear your thoughts on. You wrote a book recently, Wake Up and Dream. You're a professor at Stockton University. You teach history of TV cooking. That's unbelievable. I used to work for the Galloping Gourmet Show.
Did you really? Oh, I loved him.
I did. Well, what should we start with? Let's talk about your ukulele, maybe. Like, why did you start playing that? And what is your goal with music, Bill? Because you're such a musical fellow, and we're going to have on a choral director soon, and I want to hear, music to me is such a healing, uplifting thing. What is your main goal with music?
Well, I grew up in Philadelphia, and we have a big tradition of banjo playing there with the mummers parades and that sort of thing. And I was raised by an Irish American clan, and so I learned to sing Irish songs, and the banjo was great for that. I mean, the Irish banjo is a fantastic instrument. And, I lived in New Orleans and started getting more serious about my music there. I played in a marching band there, the Paradise Tumblers. And but then I kind of let go of it for years. And about a year ago, I decided I was going to start getting back into it, and I had to come up with some kind of talent for the Mr. Mature America pageant. So I didn't want to get back into the banjo as much as I wanted to play something easier. And so I grabbed the ukulele, and what a treat that's been. Yeah,
unbelievable. And you formed a ukulele meetup group, right?
I didn't form it. I'm part of it.
Oh, you're part of it.
We have some really, really great people in town here, and set up a ukulele meetup group. And I played for the veterans. And I'm playing on stage tomorrow at Harrah's
in Atlantic City.
In Atlantic City, yeah, for the Miss Senior New Jersey pageant. So
that's so great.
Yeah, it's been great. And my goal really is to give myself a great hobby, and maybe some little way to make extra money and stuff, and then bring enjoyment to people, including myself.
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
I get older.
I mean, I know that you are involved in talking about music to help the elderly, to help their spirits, maybe, or to get them to participate, or what?
Anybody can sing along. You know? I mean, that's the great thing about it. And I like to see more people play instruments, but singing along is just as much fun for people. And the ukulele is one of those instruments that it's hard to sit silently when you listen to the ukulele.
I just want to ask our in-studio people here, Jack and Colin, I mean, do you feel, what does the music, singing along or singing, do for you?
I mean, it's just so great to it's just so great to get with a group of people and just have this one goal in mind and have this beautiful unity and really just sing and perform together.
I think in many ways it's really an outlet, especially at university. So many people are so stressed about so many different things, and music is a time when, our conductor, he'll be on soon, he always likes to say we can leave it at the door and just come in and perform together. Well,
and Bill Quain has formed this group for our class called the Notables, and that's an incredible thing too, Bill, because, just the camaraderie, the uplifting. Music is just, above all arts to me, the all-around healer. It's just, you can laugh, you can cry. The Brazilians talk about melancholy and bliss being very similar, and the Brazilian music, to me, even if it's melancholy, it's blissful, right?
I have to agree with you. It's hard to be sad even when you're singing the blues.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
It takes you out of yourself.
Yeah. Do you want to play something for us? You have your ukulele around, or?
Well, I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm going to put my headphones on the table here, and I'll play you one verse of "When I'm 64." Let's see how it works out. Okay.
Okay.
Here we go. When I get older, losing my hair, many years from now, will you still be sending me a Valentine? Birthday greetings, bottle of wine. If I stay out till 2:45, would you like that door? Will you still need me? Will you still believe me when I'm 64?
I love it, and that's pretty akin.
I don't know how that came out through the headphones.
It came out great. It was fantastic. You've got a great voice, and it carried through the studio and out into the radio land. And that's just about the age group that our reunion is dealing with, right? We're on our 45th reunion this weekend.
Yeah.
Bill's got
we're looking at 64 through the rearview mirror, I'm afraid. Yeah, at this point.
That's so funny. And tell us about your books, because you've recently been writing a lot of books here. One was the successful book, Reclaiming the American Dream. Dream seems to be a theme for you. The last one was that you just wrote, Wake Up and Dream. Is there?
Wake Up and Dream. That's almost finished, and it's a lost art to teach people how to dream and to get them to come out of themselves and dream a little bit. So Wake Up and Dream is it talks about how there's three stages that people are in. They're sound asleep and they have dreams there. They have no control over them. They're daydreaming, and they have control over those dreams, but they don't really do much with them. And then when you're wide awake and you get a big dream that drives you, well, that can change your life.
Like the aha moment dream.
Exactly. And then finding some way to carry out what you want, So it's a lot of fun. I travel a lot. In the last year and a half, I've been to Jakarta to speak about my books, and Hong Kong, and all around the United States and so on. So, yeah, I like it a lot.
And in terms of your physical challenge, do you want to talk about that for a minute?
Yeah, well, I'm almost totally blind. I started losing my eyesight when I was 14, which is a perfect time for that because there's nothing else that you're thinking about in your life. When you're 14, you're so jolly. But you throw losing your eyesight on top of that.
Oh,
but
my gosh.
So it's a big thing in my life. I mean, but it's not. I mean, it is my life, and I don't think about it that much. To be honest with you, I have to deal with it every day. But that's the great thing about music because I mean, listen, who's more famous about singing than blind people? So
yeah,
it gives me
you're in that amazing group,
right?
right?
There were some great ones, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
in fact, your musical skills must be somewhat enhanced because of that, perhaps.
Well, it's funny because the tough part is, I mean, I have to memorize everything since I can't read sheet music or anything like that. Right. So what I try to do is I try to get 20 or 30 songs that I can memorize the chords to. And as you learn more about music, the progressions are similar in a lot of songs and so on. And so I try to sing songs that mean something to me so that I can remember the words easier and remember the chord changes. But
wow.
Yeah, so it's, yeah.
You're an amazing amalgam of talent, Bill Quain. Really...
Well, I like to have fun. I mean, that's why I'm vice president of fun, and that's why I'm attracted to people like you and the Collins and the Jacks out there, and the Jays, people who are willing to put themselves out, make a little music. And
exactly.
Randy, Mia, I got to tell you that because we all called you Randy when you were younger. But,
I know. It's very confusing, right? The double name thing.
But
I know.
One of the great thrills for me tonight is hearing your professional voice on the radio.
Oh.
You've got a great set of pipes.
Thank you.
There, I'll tell you.
Thank you.
I love it.
I'm anxious to use them to sing along in the notables. and it's a wonderful thing to do. Radio is fantastic. I mean, this is City World Radio Network, and Colin and Jack are from one of the most incredible groups on the Cornell University campus, the Glee Club, gleeclub.com. Bill Quain, where could we find your books?
They're on Amazon. Wake Up and Dream is not there yet. I expect that to be out in September. I'm putting the final touches on it now, and so that. But September or October it'll be on Amazon, and I've got a number of books up there. So yeah, visit that, and have people drop me a line if they'd like. It's Bill@Quain.com, just my name. And that's what happens when you buy your name as a domain in 1996. I was one of the first people that did that.
That's great, though. Quain, it rhymes with Twain. You're humorous and literary, just like our Mark Twain, right? Well,
he's my hero.
Yeah, well, you're the same ilk, We're in that little group of literary and musical, whatever. I don't know. I'm making up words here.
They're good words.
Well, thank you so much, Bill, for calling in to Mia's World. And was there something you wanted to ask, Bill, or mention, Jack or Colin?
No, I mean, I was just really blown away hearing everything you've accomplished, and you're a great musician to top it all off.
Yeah.
Well, that's great praise coming from you guys. And Mia, I can't wait to see you in a couple days.
Reunion is coming. Cornell University, class of 74, and many other classes on the hill, down the hill, up the hill.
Jack and Colin, keep it up and keep on singing. And Jade, congratulations on your appearance tonight. I hope that goes well for you.
That's very gracious of you. We were just talking about the lack of manners, and you are completely the opposite, Bill Quain. So thank you so much for calling in to Mia's World and City World Radio Network. And watch for Bill, listen for Bill, and if you're going to the reunion at Cornell, he'll be there somewhere. Look for Bill Quain, or listen for the ukulele strumming.
That's right.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay, thank you, Mia.
Have a great evening, and good luck tomorrow at the pageant. And wave to the beach in Atlantic City. I'm missing that ocean, and unfortunately,
okay, we'll come down and see us sometime here.
Thank you so much, Bill. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. So that was kind of an interesting segue into our next segment, and we're in a few moments, I believe, Robert Isaacs, the choral director from Cornell University Glee Club. Or do you say Cornell Glee Club or Cornell University Glee Club? It's such a mouthful.
We use them interchangeably, really.
But your website is just gleeclub.com.
That's right.
Which blows my mind. You don't identify the Cornell part. But that distinguishes you, I guess, because all the other universities probably use their name, right?
Exactly.
Right? I guess you know what we could do, Jade? We could start playing a little bit while we're talking of number 17, the 150 years of the Cornell Glee Club. If anybody has time to Google the Cornell Glee Club, this particular video on YouTube of 150 years of the Cornell Glee Club is such beautiful footage of the video through the years of the Glee Club, going back 150 years.
Yeah, and can I give a shout out to our publicity manager, Milo Dominguez, for putting this beautiful video together.
Oh, my God. What's amazing about the Glee Club, if you go on the website for Cornell, for gleeclub.com, you've got so many people. You're a student-run organization, even though you're part of Cornell, but you've got officers. You're the president, Jack, and you're the general manager, but you've got an aesthetics officer. What does the aesthetics officer do?
So we are completely student-run, except for our music, which is conducted by our conductor, Robert Isaacs, who's
calling on cue.
Speak up.
Where am I? Here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
You could keep it. Is this Robert Isaacs?
This is Robert Isaacs, yes.
Well, we literally, Jack, just mentioned your name right on cue. You're psychic, too, aside from everything else that you do. We're playing right now in the background the video and the music, obviously, of the Cornell Glee Club. That 150 years of the Glee Club, you know that one?
Yes, yeah.
It's just gorgeous to see it and to hear it, of course.
Great.
And Robert Isaacs is, amongst other things, well, I don't know your real title because I know you're Director of Choral Music at Cornell. Is that the real title?
The real title is Priscilla E. Browning, Director of Choral Music.
Thank you.
My position is endowed by the wonderful Priscilla Browning, who's
been related to
the arts up here for many years.
Is she related to the poet?
I don't know.
We got to check that out now, right? All these literary people at Cornell, you know. Well, Robert, I can't. I mean, I've heard you conduct many times, being at Cornell for many years, and this is the 45th reunion coming up for me. But I did not know that you were a juggler, a unicyclist, a countertenor, a writer.
Well, if you're going to be in the risky world of classical music, you need to have a safe fallback. So,
like juggling.
It's important to hone my juggling and unicycling skills.
Oh my God! Well, gosh, I mean, you conduct so beautifully. You have such verve and nerve.
Thank you.
As I've watched you and listened to you, that's the problem. It's like I'm somebody who likes to watch faces, so I can't always see your face, but I can see the energy and the motions going through your. You're so enthusiastic.
Well, one of the things that's great about being a conductor is that you get out on stage, and then just when you might be getting nervous, you get to turn your back on the whole audience and look at a bunch of people you know really well.
Yeah, we're the lucky ones.
It definitely helps with the nerves.
Right. Well, Jack and Colin, they just said they're lucky because they get to see you. Now, you've worked with Princeton, Manhattan School of Music, Carnegie Hall. You've conducted Cornell choirs at Kennedy Center and the Supreme Court. My God, that's unusual. I just wondered, what is it about Cornell that feels special to you versus other places, that keeps you going to Cornell?
That's a wonderful question. I've had a kind of an unexpected life tour of the Ivy League, which it was not my plan from the beginning. But I find that Cornell, as a campus, I mean, obviously it's full of really bright people who are really motivated and pursue every field. But the motto of Cornell is every person, every study.
Yes.
I made a rule many years ago, or a principle, that almost every institution is exactly the opposite of their own motto, whatever it might be. and I realize that Cornell is the exception to that. It really is the kind of place where you have every kind of person you could imagine, and has been from the beginning, and where there's no sense of hierarchy of fields of study. So we have people studying philosophy, and we have people studying plant science, and we have people studying hotel management, and we have people studying how cows work. And
I know
and all of these in all of these areas are interesting questions that people can pursue with the full power of their imagination and their intellect. And I like that. I like being at a place that feels both ecumenical and egalitarian like that.
That's a wonderful explanation. I mean, Cornell, you could be overwhelmed by the the variety of options. And I'm a Sagittarian, and we like possibilities and options. And boy, that's in spades at Cornell University.
It surely is. And one of the things that I really love about working here as opposed to, let's say, at a conservatory, I had a wonderful time at a conservatory working almost exclusively with people who were hoping for a musical career. But here, I work with students who have every possible future in front of them. And no matter how outlandish my metaphors or references get, there's always somebody in the room who knows a heck of a lot more than me on the subject. I remember one occasion in which I don't know how it came up in a warm-up, but I was trying to have them try to imagine their sounds as if they, were a large planet with many moons orbiting around their center. And I turned to Eric and I said, in the front row, and I said, Eric, how many moons does Jupiter have? And he said, as of this morning, 78. Something like that. And I mean, that's just so classic that, there's always somebody out there who knows a lot, and I love that fact.
Well, it's nice that you knew exactly who to ask, too. You have to.
Oh, in that instance, I do, yeah.
So I wondered if you had a preference for the contemporary versus the classical. I mean, you do so many different types, and the classical is so rich and so beautiful, but do you, because we've got the history of the Hangovers and all those subsets of the Cornell Glee Club, do you have a preference, or do you just like to mix it up?
No, I really like to mix it up, and I mean, one of the reasons I went into music is that I like a lot of different kinds of music. I wouldn't be happy in this field if I had a narrow niche that made me happy and everything else felt dutiful.
Right.
As an educator, when I'm picking music, that's definitely the number one most difficult job because I have to find music that will be interesting for an audience to listen to over the course of an hour or two.
Right.
But it also has to be interesting for a bunch of smart young people to engage with for several months, which is a totally different kind of time frame with which to connect with art in a way. And I find that different styles and different, in every era of history and in every style, there are composers who found a way to write that kind of music that unfolds itself, and keep making new discoveries in it.
Well,
but somebody asked me once, what is your favorite piece of music? And I said, whatever I'm conducting at the moment. You have to choose to be really fully engaged in the music in front of you.
Yeah, well, I think it's fascinating, and I wonder what you thought about how you attract young singers, because a lot of young people are, it's a hard place. It's an intense place, Cornell. It's a gorgeous, wonderful, lush place. But how do you get people? I mean, is it just you seem to have no problem?
Well, I cannot take credit for it because, for the one thing, obviously the Glee Club and the chorus and the chorale and the chamber singers at Cornell have a long and rich tradition, and some people come to campus already bound and determined to join one of these groups.
Well, that's
but most of all, what I have is a set of current members who are so passionate about the ensemble and so enthusiastic about not just the music that we make together, but the community that is formed.
Yeah.
And they go out and really kind of are a very bold and ubiquitous presence on campus when the freshmen first arrive. And, everyone arrives on campus looking for their tribe.
Yes.
Especially if there's 3,500 other freshmen kind of wandering around in a big mass. Mm-hmm. And this is an immediate and very attractive community to join with a clearly defined and positive purpose. It's clearly, people are affectionate with each other. It's a very diverse community in every sense of the word, not just across ethnicities, but across age brackets and what people study and their value, their cultural values and so on. So it's, it's kind of the best possible microcosm of Cornell.
And I love that even though you've conducted the Royal Albert Hall and the Edinburgh Fringe and the Guggenheim Museum and all over the world pretty much, you're still so accessible and you're down to earth, and that's what I find so appealing about. I sang with Thomas Sokol, and I know you're doing a tribute this weekend to him.
We are, yeah.
But I wonder, Jack and Colin, what first attracted you to? Was it did you know that you wanted to be in the Glee Club when you first got there?
So at least for me, singing was never really something I did growing up. I was a classical pianist since a young age, and when I came to Cornell, I kind of felt that pianos were not as accessible, not something that I could just do all the time. And I heard about the Glee Club kind of on a whim, tried out for it and got in, and it really instantly became a community of people that I was just so intimate with,
Just what Robert Isaacs is really
absolutely.
saying.
It really pulls you in, and as soon as you become a part of it, it's so hard not to keep coming back for more.
And what about you, Jeff?
So I sang all throughout high school, and I knew that I wanted to keep singing, but I didn't even know the Glee Club existed at Cornell.
Wow.
But right before I came, right before orientation, I got this Facebook message from one of the Glee Clubbers, and this is our beautiful recruitment effort by our officers. And they reached out personally. They were like, hey, I see that you're interested in singing. Maybe come audition. And I did, and I got in. And from the very first moment that the whole group, all 50 of us sang together, I was like, oh, boy.
Wow,
and
Robert, did you hear that?
I did.
There's nothing better than that, I would imagine, to hear from your peeps. Well, let's just hear a little bit of a sample of the Glee Club. I think this is going to be Danny Boy. Right? Yeah. That was pretty exquisite, Robert Isaacs, the conductor. And was that your arrangement, or?
Oh, if only.
Could have been.
Patrick Dupree Quigley of Seraphic Fire. A beautiful, beautiful arrangement.
Oh, God. Where was that done? Was that on campus?
I don't know where. We performed that on tour last year, so that recording might be from anywhere. Jack or Colin, do you know where that one might be from?
I think that was probably from a tour recording.
And you do a lot of touring, don't you?
We do. We tour every year.
Wow, that's magnificent. Robert, I did want to ask you, because you are also a performer and a singer and a writer, does the conducting compare to performing? How does it compare to performing, or is conducting like a performance for you?
That's a great question. It is an opportunity to kind of shape sound. You know, as I spent a lifetime as a singer, singing with other wonderful groups in New York and doing some solo work. So I have ideas about how the voice can express things, but in this instance, I'm not using my own voice. I'm trying to use my hands to shape the sound that some other voices are making.
Right.
So there is that element to it, and I have a very kinesthetic response to the sound in front of me. I'm trying to show with my conducting how it might feel if I were trying to achieve that phrase in my own body. But in a way, I would say that a rehearsal is a performance as well.
Yeah.
There's definitely you're reading the room and you're trying to control the pace of energy and work and moments of intensity and moments of lightness. And, there's a rough script that I create for myself in terms of what order we're going to do various pieces in, but then you have to kind of ride the mood there. And like all performance, it's impossible to get right.
Yeah.
So you have moments of victory and moments where you think, oh, I let that drag for a few minutes.
But somehow, but I don't think an audience...
hope to do it better the next time.
I don't think the audience knows as much as you, so often for me, if I'm moved, then you're just 120% successful, because what else is there besides the emotion of a performance, right? I mean, to me.
The goal is to get everybody on stage at a level of confidence and excitement about the music, so that they are not worried about the construction side of the music, which happens at the first stage of rehearsal. Like, what's my next note? When do I sing?
Right.
How do I achieve that sound?
The technical.
If all of those things have been taken care of, then your mind and your spirit is free to step effortlessly into a larger space, a more emotional space, and in some ways to live in a longer stretch of the present. You're not thinking about just this 1 second or this one bar. You're thinking about a whole phrase or a whole piece and telling a story.
Wow. You sound like a guru. I mean, like a... I love hearing you.
Nearly long enough, Nora, and I'll have to work on the beard.
No, but do you talk about this stuff in your conducting? Do you talk... Because it sounds...
I do, and I think, every conductor tries to be funny at times and then inspiring at times. And once singers have worked with you for a couple of years, they've heard both the funny and the inspiring, and their eyes roll equally. When you get to both of them. But then in the moment, everyone knows it really counts, and it really does kind of connect with people. And you don't even really need to say it.
Well, I cannot thank you enough for calling in to Mia's World, City World Radio Network. Robert Isaacs, if you want to hear his amazing Glee Club on campus or off campus, you can certainly go to gleeclub.com. You can come to Cornell University this weekend. There's going to be a glorious concert on Friday night. And before that, I think you're doing a tribute to Thomas Sokol.
That's correct. My predecessor, Thomas Sokol, so unfortunately passed away just about a month ago. We were all looking forward to having him with us for this celebration, and indeed to have him conduct many of his former students. But fate intervened, and we will be having a memorial service for him in the afternoon at Sage Chapel, which I'm sure will be packed. And I should say that this concert that is coming up Friday night, we do it every year. It's quite a miracle that we can pull it all together in one day.
It's unbelievable.
And it features both the Glee Club and the chorus, their peer ensemble.
Right.
This year being a big round number anniversary for the Glee Club, that will be Glee Clubbers coming out of our ears in every direction, but the chorus will be there in force as well. And then in 2 years' time, when the chorus turns 100, we'll have, I'm sure, an equally bang-up celebration.
So I'll have to come on my off year.
All kinds of singing to be heard.
Amazing. Well, what we're going to go out of Mia's World with is the Cornell Glee Club and Chorus singing the alma mater, Far Above Cayuta's Waters, which is... The lyrics were written about 1870 by roommates. I did not know this. Archibald Croswell Weeks, class of 1872, and Wilmot Moses Smith, class of 1874, set to the tune of Annie Lyle, popular ballad by H.S. Thompson about a heroine dying of tuberculosis. But the haunting sounds of the Glee Club and Chorus are just gorgeous. And thank you so much, Robert Isaacs, for calling in. I cannot thank you enough. Your Glee Club is enchanting and uplifting, and thank you so much.
Well, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having us on, and I look forward to seeing you this weekend.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jade. Go ahead. Here comes the alma mater. Thanks for listening to Mia's World. Go hear some great music. Here comes some right now.
Sure. I've been meaning to ask you, what would happen if someone offered you a drink?
Grandma?
If anyone ever does, I want you to say, no, I have too much respect for my family and I don't want to get in trouble.
I promise, Grandma.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. That's underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. This message brought to you by SAMHSA and this station.
Yo, what's going on? Y'all listening to Sky's Crescent Radio, and here's what's coming up. On the first Sunday of the month, we have the Poet Podcast with Dale Novella. On the second Sunday of the month, we have the Soul Tree Spotlight with Earlene Stephen. And we also have Keeping It Funky with Troy Weeks. On the third Sunday of the month, we have Boozy News with Supreme Bars. And on the fourth Sunday of the month, we have What's Really Good with Jeanette Berry and Clout Dealers with The Label Noir. And every Sunday at 7, we have Can We Not with Evan Combis. Peace.
It's hard to miss a day of work, but it's easy to spread influenza. Stay home if you get sick. It's the flu season. For more information on symptoms and treatment, visit mdhflu.com. Sponsored by the Minnesota Department of Health, aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, this is Kelsey Grammer. When military service members head into battle, none are expected to face the enemy alone, but many return home and become isolated as they struggle with the visible and invisible wounds of war. It can be difficult knowing how to overcome that challenge and rekindle bonds similar to those formed in the military. Wounded Warrior Project supports these injured veterans through their recoveries by connecting them with fellow warriors and their communities. No one should fight this battle alone. Join us at woundedwarriorproject.org.
When it comes to providing guide dogs for people who are blind or visually impaired, one national organization is taking the lead. The Guide Dog Foundation breeds and trains Labradors and Golden Retrievers to help blind and visually impaired people increase their mobility and independence. The foundation provides transportation to its New York campus, the guide dog, a comprehensive training program, and a lifetime of aftercare services, all free of charge. The benefits to training with a guide dog at the Guide Dog Foundation in Smithtown, New York are many. Among them are small class sizes for personalized attention, a long history of excellence in dog breeding, and a highly skilled professional training staff. The foundation offers a comfortable environment and diverse training areas from country walks to city subways. If you or someone you know could benefit from the foundation's free services, call 800-548-4337.